All right. Welcome in. It is SEC After Dark. You already know what time it is. It's time to get live. We're live on a Wednesday night here. Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, Jake Thomas. We got a lot to talk about. We are presented by DeadSoxy, as you can see right there. Father's Day has come and passed. We hope you got your DeadSoxy socks. But they continue to be the number one supporter for Ole Miss NIL. So you need to get your socks in. I'm pulling up the read right now. But we, like I said, got a lot on the docket here. Florida apparently on a heater recruiting wise. Dylan Raiola, he is transferring to Buford. We also have my chicken legs were in fact delicious.
Nice.
There you go.
In case you saw that last minute short. But yeah, Father's Day is coming past. DeadSoxy has the perfect gift for any budget at any time. So whether it is as a gift or buying for yourself, DeadSoxy is excited to help you celebrate with style. Sign up for a DeadSoxy NIL membership and receive new styles every month, 2 months, 3 months, or even every 6 months. These socks not only comfort your feet, they give back. Over 50% of the proceeds are pumped back into Ole Miss athletics. If a sock subscription isn't your speed, ask for a Saturday 7-pack. Get 7 unique designs to coordinate each of this upcoming season's 7 home football games. Again, these packs give back to Ole Miss athletics as well. Visiting DeadSoxy.com, that's dead, SOXY.com, as you can see on the screen, and stock up on your favorite socks while supporting your beloved Rebels. It's a double win. You can also get 25% off on all non-licensed styles and free shipping on all orders with the code
After Dark.
After Dark. So we hope you had a great Father's Day, but happy Wednesday from DeadSoxy. As always, stay soxy.
Yeah, and don't forget, there you have Alabama socks. They have Georgia socks. They have Tennessee socks as well. So go check their website, and we have people from Alabama. We have Georgia fans and all that tuning in as well. So DeadSoxy can help them out as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're coming to you live from After Dark YouTube, the Locked On Ole Miss Facebook page, the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs YouTube page, Tide Talk Live YouTube page. We're on Twitch. We're on the Twitter pages of the Stephen Willis and at SEC_after_dark. Joining on the chat. We're live, man. So let's talk Florida recruiting.
Yeah, they're on a little bit of a heater, aren't they?
Yeah, ever since I came out with that video, that short, saying, hey, they're reeling a little bit. Maybe I was the good luck charm for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think, honestly, what had happened is they went through about a 2-week period of absolute despair, culminating with Austin Simmons decommitting and committing to Ole Miss. And I think that just woke some people up, and they started to ring some bells, and they went from the number 13 rated recruiting class up to, I think they're number 2 right now, and nipping on Georgia's heels. And they're doing a fantastic job. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to win more than 5 games this year. That just means that the class of 2024 could be a special generational type class for the Florida Gators, and maybe could be the one that gets them back on track. But I don't know how much stock I would put in it in the moment.
In the moment, no. But, I think as long as the Board of Trustees or whoever's making the decision down there in Gainesville on whether or not Billy Napier is the right guy for the job, I think having a class rated this high will buy him at least another year, no matter how much of a disaster it is. They're going to say, okay, he's got this great class coming in. We have to see what he does with that. So who knows? DJ Lagway, Elite 11 quarterback, is he going to be something for the Gators that they haven't had in a really long time, that they could have had with Anthony Richardson but didn't? Is it something that – I don't know. We'll see. But I do think if he continues to recruit at this pace, Billy Napier will be in Gainesville for the next year or two.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want him in Gainesville or if I don't want him in Gainesville. I don't know.
If he continues to lose, I do want him in Gainesville.
If he continues to get boat raced by Vandy, I want him to have a lifetime contract.
Yeah.
But if he turns into Steve Spurrier, Urban Meyer, I want him out of there. Honestly,
I don't
just
think
being
that's
real.
gonna. I just don't foresee that happening. They've got too far
No.
to go. That's a long-term deal, and I don't know if he's going to have that long to turn into Steve Spurrier. What you guys don't understand, Jake, Jeb, and Steve, is that Dan Mullen destroyed that roster.
He did. Yeah, absolutely.
He foobarred it.
Well, think about this. Dan Mullen, in his infinite wisdom, this should have been red flag number one. Florida fans, if you're watching this should have been red flag number one. He cut Matt Corral for Emory Jones.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I've seen that before because that's what happened in Tennessee. Derek Dooley destroyed the roster, and it took us years to recover. And only just now getting there, honestly.
Yeah, you're
I think
finally
Florida will probably
recovered.
recover faster than that, but
And that's what I was going to say is, if you do give him, if you say, okay, he's got a good recruiting class coming in, that means you got to let him develop them. It ain't going to be their freshman year. It's going to be sophomore, junior year when they're really hitting their potentially. So, I mean, are they really going to wait 3 more years for that to happen? I just don't know.
and the problem is one good class may not fix it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and even then, I mean, Tennessee has had, since Dooley left, they've had terrible rosters, and they finally got to where they have NFL talent all over the place, but they don't have it in there too deep, which
Right.
they still have some depth issues. Like if a linebacker goes down, like they're still kind of thin at that position. Or let's say like right now they've got Squirrel White and help me out here, Brew McCoy as their top two receivers. They're pretty good, but like they're not the playmakers that Tillman and Hyatt were. So they're still like Tennessee 10 years later. Or even 12 years later, however long it's been, are still building their roster. So it's not an easy fix.
Justin Hyatt wasn't that dude his freshman year, or Jalen Hyatt. He had that 1 year of being absolutely special, but he wasn't the one that was the go-to guy. That was Cedric Tillman. It was almost an accident that they found him this year. So I think that gives Tennessee fans some hope about Brew McCoy, because Brew McCoy having to step up last year in the absence of Cedric Tillman. And then I think Squirrel White got some reps and can fill in with that, because so much of this offense does. It's the same type stuff that Ole Miss does, the same type of stuff that Arkansas used to do before they got away from it.
It's all tempo, RPO.
Yeah, the tempo, RPO, and all that it can become plug and play from time to time. And I think they'll be fine.
Yeah,
I agree with what Stacey said there.
And
to a certain degree, yes. But I mean, if you're having to dig in the portal for a quarter of your roster every single year, that's not really sustainable either. Like you've got to have a good mix.
Well, and the portal does make it different than it was like when Tennessee went through it. We didn't have that as big advantage of being able to go out and get people in the portal. So it'll be interesting to see if they can do that.
So it probably cuts the time in half.
Well, yeah, maybe that. But the biggest thing is, I don't know. This guy's got to be able to actually coach too, not just recruit. Because Tennessee did get a little better at one point under Butch Jones because he could actually recruit players, but he couldn't coach. And it just all that recruiting really amounted to nothing. Now, he wasn't recruiting elite players, but he at least was recruiting a lot better than Derek Dooley was and rebuilding the roster. But that's the thing. Can Billy Napier actually coach these people? And so far, we haven't seen that. But who knows?
And rebuilding your roster through the through the portal, I think Colorado just did that. So we'll see how that does this year.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, Florida doesn't have a quarterback. They still have that problem. Do you want a guy that got ran out of Wisconsin? Yeah. I mean, last year with the number 4 quarterback in the NFL draft, you got boat raced by Vandy.
Well, I think that's why not many people are expecting a whole lot from Florida this year.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future. But the problem is, if they have, if Napier has 2 bad years in a row, are they going to give him more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if he has a disaster season, the clock is ticking. Hey, I like this quote box because it makes Jeb look like Wilson from Home Improvement.
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome. Oh yeah. To answer your question, Michael, probably for a while the SEC is like a little bit more arrogant about adding teams, but Yeah, the quarterback issue is terrible. Graham Mertz. I mean, I guess your savior. You're hoping DJ Lagway is your savior, but who knows, man?
It's amazing that Florida needs a savior. How bizarre is that for somebody my age?
Yeah,
it's all cyclical, man. Like this is like the Ray Goof era of Georgia football.
Yeah, it's absolutely
this is like
bizarre.
It's like the decade of Ray Goff and Jim Donnan.
Chauncey,
now it's Florida's turn.
Dave Simmons, Austin Simmons' dad, was on a podcast and apparently did some stuff. And Chauncey is loading up some information about that. I have not heard that interview. I've heard about it, and I think I've retweeted it, but I've not actually sitting down and listened to it at this point. But if there's anything about it, just feel free to let it know. We'll put it up on the screen.
Well, here's the thing, Stacey. Like, it's the continuity of like building a system. Like, look at Kentucky basketball. Like, they're good, but they're not great. Like, Florida could be good with heavy portal additions, but if Florida wants to return back to what Florida standards are, heavy portal additions is not the way to go. Like, you can bolster 10% of your roster. That would be fine. That would be great. Like, Alabama does it. Georgia added 6 guys from the portal. Like, adding guys from the portal is normal, but overhauling 25 to 30 players year in and year out from the portal is not good. Now if you did it for like 1 year and then like reset the cycle and just started bringing in high school guys to kind of supplement these portal guys, and then so when the portal guys move on, you do have some high school guys coming in behind them. That might work, but year after year after year after year, not a chance.
I don't know if I agree with you, Corey. I don't know if I agree with you. Now, because I don't think anything can sustain it, because all of these players that you get you take a high school player, in a year or two they could be gone. And you just develop somebody else's player.
Right.
And I think now there's no such thing as a program anymore. Like Bear Bryant sitting up in the tower, or Billy Brewer in the tower, Vince Dooley in the tower. That doesn't really exist anymore, to where they want everybody to be fifth-year seniors playing football for them.
No, that's not true. That's not true either. But there's got to be a balance between the two. Like, you can't just overhaul your roster every single year. But you have to recruit your own roster too. I mean, that's a thing.
We don't know if that's sustainable. It's so young. It's kind of like the myth of they've just taken forward the myth of JUCO recruiting. Do you remember how they used to say about Bill Snyder, how his JUCO recruiting was not sustainable? You have to recruit high school players. JUCO players can never win consistently, and that maybe got proven true. I don't know, but I mean, I'd be interested to see the percent, like the threshold or percentages of losing versus replacing in the portal, and then keeping guys year to year, like retention versus portal departure and portal arrivals, and just kind of see how it correlates. I think that'd be an interesting study, but you have to think that retention is probably your number one stat, regardless of portal. But I think it's also about NIL health, to be perfectly honest. You need solid NIL to maintain your roster.
I mean,
okay, that's the baseline. NIL,
that's part of recruiting your own roster.
Yeah, and if you don't have above that, you can't play in the transfer portal because you can't get the players in. So now you're recruiting low 3 stars that aren't NIL players to fill out your roster. If you're playing in the transfer portal, you have a little bit of money. I don't think if you can get 4 and 5 star players, you're not playing in the transfer market very often.
Right.
The transfer portal has turned out a way to make programs like Ole Miss, like Colorado, whoever that's below, let them to be competitive on their end product recruiting with the likes of Georgia and Alabama, who can just load up on 5 stars every year. Heck, Texas A&M can buy an all-star team, and
still go 4-8.
And still go 4-8.
Yeah, but they lose everybody to the portal because Jimbo is running them off. So, I mean, they're losing a ton of people. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, Ole Miss is competitive, but like to get over the hump, like there's going to have to be some continuity, right?
Well, there might be something this year. I don't know if they've changed the way that Ole Miss is recruiting because they're going with a lot of high school players, or is it just Mississippi has having an elite year? And it's one of those situations where they draw a line on a piece of paper, and if a player's above it, we'll take them. If they're below it, we won't. And it just happens that more high school players are above that line this year. And it's going to be really interesting to see, because I don't know if this is a trend or if this is a one-off.
I think with the transfer portal, I think it's gonna fluctuate so much, because like it's just gonna depend on, like the portal's gonna even out at some point. Right now, people are flooding the portal because it's still very young. I think eventually it'll kind of level off when guys get in the portal and they don't have a destination to go to. Like let's say somebody on the end of Ole Miss's roster didn't get run off, but they decided, hey, I'm not playing enough. I'm gonna jump in the portal, and I'm gonna go to Kentucky, or I'm going to go to Georgia, I'm going to go to Auburn or somewhere, and they end up at like Idaho State, which, I mean, Idaho State's a great program, don't get me wrong, but it's not where they wanted to be. So there's going to be some stuff there too. This is all still very new, and NIL's factored into it. You're going to have to figure out a way to balance year to year to where you're not relying on the portal every single year. Like if there's a good high school cycle, great. Get them, develop them, keep them. Backfill with portal guys and see if you can get that cycle going. And I think you'll have a good mix.
Well, the portal has helped out, like Steve said, smaller teams. I mean, look what Southern Miss did. I mean, they took like a lot of the second and third string from Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and loaded up on their program. And I mean,
it's a way of life at G5.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. That's a way of life in G5. Like I'm talking I'm talking SEC programs, like year to year to year, like loading up on portal guys. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Seems like, I mean, Alabama and Georgia gets those 5 stars, and you maybe fill 1 or 2 in with portal guys. You don't, I kind of see what Steven's saying. You don't really need guys. Programs like that don't need portal players unless they just need 1 or 2. They don't have to go out and get like 10 to 12 portal players just to fill in the roster.
Ole Miss is not far from not relying heavily on the portal. They're not far. See, the thing is with Ole Miss and programs like that is Ole Miss is like trending up on like not having to rely on the portal, because Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys are starting to pull in some bigger recruits lately, like Suntrain Perkins and those guys. You're starting to see that. Mississippi State pulled 2 4-stars.
Yeah,
like NIL is going to change that game too, as well. So, I think you're going to see everybody in the conference, they're going to be probably feeding the portal more than they are eating from the portal.
Which, by the way, I want to pat myself on the back real quick.
Don't dislocate your shoulder doing so.
Yes. Ole Miss got a commitment from Tavares Banks out of Northridge High School in Tuscaloosa. Good player, 4-star player. He's a top 200 player. But for weeks, we heard about how this was a Mississippi State player. You weren't even hearing Ole Miss. And then Ole Miss snuck in and got him. So I knew that there would be some sort of a PR retribution that would happen because of that. Because that's the way recruiting in the state of Mississippi works. So the next day, I put out a podcast about how Egg Bowl recruiting was dead. Mm-hmm. And talked about how Mississippi State is NIL broke and they're NIL poor. And it was honestly a troll podcast a little bit. And I was just trying to...
You only do that to Auburn.
Yeah, no, Auburn fans know I'm excellent at tweaking fan bases. So I decided for the first time to tweak Mississippi State to see what happened. I set a record yesterday for viewership and listenership.
Nice.
Attaboy. Well done.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. But yeah, so we're presented by, let's move on. I think Florida is benefiting, so we'll see if this recruiting cycle can bolster their roster enough to where they're just filling gaps from the portal. So we are presented by betonline.ag as well. They continue to be the number one source for all of your sports wagering needs, whether you want to bet live odds, game matchups, things like that. They have props. You can bet futures on just about anything you want to bet on. I've been betting a lot of baseball lately. And Steve, I actually won on your Tigers two nights ago when you told me not to.
I told you not to bet on the Tigers.
I bet on them and I won.
Well, you got lucky because the next night they got 1-0 shut out by like a 7 ERA pitcher.
Yeah, I didn't bet. I didn't bet that night, but
Yeah.
So MLB, if you bet on Wyndham Clark, which I did, I took him at plus 650 on Saturday to win the U.S. Open. I got paid off on that one. I didn't bet a whole lot of money, so like getting paid off means like I got $25 off of that, off a $5 bet. Stuff like that. Like BetOnline has it for you. So if you want to join, you hop on the website betonline.ag, or you can get on your mobile device. I'm pretty sure they have an app. You get on there, put in the promo code Bleav, that's BLEAV, to get your 50% welcome bonus. So betonline.ag, it's where the game starts. So speaking of where the game starts, looks like Dylan Raiola is going to be at his third high school in as many years. He transferred from Texas to Chandler High School in Arizona, was told that he was likely going to have to serve a 5-game suspension based on the Arizona High School Association, whatever they're called. He was going to have to probably sit out for like eligibility rules. So he decided that was probably not the best idea for him. So he's going to Buford High School in Georgia. And those of you that know anything about Buford High School, it's a really strong program. The Buford Wolves. They've produced a lot.
The Wolves. Man, it feels like they missed an opportunity to be the Bandits.
The Buford Bandits.
The Buford Bandits. They really did. They're green and gold. They're the Wolves. Man, Justice Haynes came from there. Jake. Okay. So really
threw
good
it to Haynes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know. He's at Alabama. That just doesn't seem right. But
it feels right.
Yeah. So you have I think this solidifies his commitment. I think this is good because there's some guys like KJ Bolden that's on that roster that is up in the air with his recruitment, having Dylan Raiola on that roster, pumping Georgia.
Wait, 2 5-stars are on that roster?
Mm-hmm. I told you. It's one of the best programs.
Good grief. I almost wish I could go to Corky Kell. Is he going to be there?
Probably. Yeah, it's one of the best programs in the entire state of Georgia. Yes.
Jay Poe came from there too.
Yep. A lot of people came from there. We could spend the whole show naming people that came from Buford, but we're not going to do that.
Where is Buford?
Buford.
It is northeast of Atlanta. It's a northeast suburb of Atlanta. It's in Gwinnett County. If you know where the Mall of Georgia is, that's where
don't.
Buford
I know where the Brave Stadium is.
It's in the other county to the east.
Okay.
It's in Gwinnett County.
Okay, yeah, that's in Cobb County, right?
Yeah, the Brave Stadium's in Cobb. Yes, it's on the Cobb-Fulton border, really, but it's technically in Cobb County. But it's in Gwinnett. So he goes to a really rich program, which I wish Dylan Raiola would have said, you know what, I'm going to Ware County, so he could be coached by Israel.
For whatever reason, I know he doesn't coach there anymore, but like Colquitt County, I just would like to see Dylan Raiola and Rush Probst and MTV.
News on that. Show.
Yeah,
Jake, Rush Probst got hired by Pell City.
Interesting.
Yeah, Pell City
in Alabama.
Yeah. Good hire.
What else do you know about another high school at the same time, secretly?
Well, not secretly, but yeah, he got fired from Valdosta.
Yeah.
His second high school that nobody knows about.
Well, it's funny thing you should say, like when he was at Hoover and he had the second family going, when that news broke, guess where the second family lived?
Where?
Pell City.
Oh, okay.
Full circle, baby.
So do you call in that situation? Is the wives like they call them sister? Are they sister wives officially?
Easy.
No. He's not Mormon. Could be. These two wives probably hate each other.
Yeah, he's not Mormon. He's a felon because that's illegal as hell.
Well, he didn't officially get married until he got divorced. Oh. But he had a whole second family going.
Either way. All right.
Yeah.
Chauncey had some questions, by the way. Before they get off the screen, I want to put them back up if I can.
Yeah, you can probably scroll.
Yeah, you can scroll up.
You can watch this.
Boom.
That's the very first comment.
Okay. Austin Simmons, who decommitted from Florida, reclassified to the class of 2023, which is this fall.
That's why Royal is there.
And committed to Ole Miss. He was by the way, Austin Simmons was compared to Tua Tagovailoa by On3, and not the Ole Miss hack On3, the national office. So that's a company that's owned by Lucky. I can just say that handle, and you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yep.
But Dad came to Ole Miss
know.
to be in the starting rotation in the spring. He wasn't going to be able to do that at Florida. Dad wants him in baseball. From what I understand, Austin Simmons throws 97 from the left-hand side.
Good God.
So he's amphibious?
No, he's not amphibious. He's left-handed.
Oh, he's fully left-handed.
Yeah, and he wears number 13, and he's left-handed and plays quarterback.
He may have a future as an NFL and an MLB player. You don't have a lot of southpaws like that.
Yeah, honestly, if I threw 97 from the left-hand side, like was it Shane McClanahan? There's no way I'd put on a set of shoulder pads again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chauncey, that is a huge development for the baseball team. Absolutely is.
Is Simmons got the toughness of Tua Tagovailoa? Or the fragility?
I don't know. He graduated high school as a freshman.
Yeah.
Well, he was 17 years old.
No, he's 17 now. He wasn't 17
now.
then. Yeah.
So he's been graduated for 2 years?
Yeah, he could have graduated. He's been taking college classes for 2 years. He's going to arrive at Ole Miss and be able to get an associate's degree.
That is wild.
That is wild.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
And still not start over Walker Howard.
well, neither one of them is going to start this year over Jackson Dart, in my opinion. And
Is Jackson Dart going to find the middle of the field? I listened to your show today, Steve.
yeah, I hope so. My middle of the field monster, Caden Priestcorn, I did that on the Locked On show today. Talked about that.
I heard. I saw.
Yeah, put up some advanced stats showing Caden Priestcorn's work in the middle of the field, up from 0 to 20 yards downfield. It's like he's 80% completion rate and a quarterback rating that he has about 120 average on the NFL scale there. So he's pretty good.
So basically, you got a quarterback who's scared of the middle and a quarterback that can't hit the broadside of a barn occasionally.
No, I wouldn't say that. And then you have Walker Howard, who's basically
You might as well play
Eli.
Walker Howard. Yeah, you might as well play Walker Howard at that point.
You're going to play Jackson Dart to start out with, and if they're struggling, I think they're going to go to Walker Howard. But, hey, Austin Simmons, I think, is going to make noise this year. I think everybody's going to be nervous about that, but Jackson Dart's going to make some noise. Austin Simmons is going to make some noise.
I think Jackson Dart's going to make some noise too. I think he was missing the Trigg Priestcorn presence in the middle. All kidding aside, I think that. Steve, when we broke down Ole Miss's offense, and we broke down Lane Kiffin's on a 3-year cycle when he first got to FAU, when he was leaving FAU to take the Ole Miss job. That's how far back we did this. You saw his offense kind of evolve, and I really love a lot of the RPO packages that he has implemented in that offense.
It's fantastic.
I just want to put up this picture. I know I talked about it last week for Chauncey, but that dude right there looks like he was been in a bunch of hockey fights in his lifetime.
He has.
Yeah. I mean, that looks like a hockey player, no doubt.
Hey, did you guys see where Barstool ranked Athens as the best college town?
Oh, really?
For football.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wait, the two-time defending national champion has an exciting game day atmosphere right now. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you say that.
Okay.
That only took 41 years, but okay.
Shoot, man, the atmosphere. We won the party every week. We couldn't win many football. Actually, when I was in college, there we won a lot of games. We just couldn't win the big one. We couldn't beat Florida.
I'm excited. We go to Athens, and Athens comes to Oxford in back-to-back years.
Thanks, Chauncey.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be fun. I missed the Ole Miss Georgia
Attaboy.
game being an every year thing, and I'm actually glad to have it back, even though they're beating the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, I mean, in 24, it might tide might turn a little bit there in 24, but like 23, I just think this 23 team is loaded. I mean, every team's loaded, but like nobody can stop Brock Bowers. Nobody has an answer for him.
Is there it seems like every team has a question mark coming to the year. Does Georgia really have a question mark coming to the year, Corey?
Quarterback. I mean,
Carson,
we
Carson
don't.
Beck,
We don't. I mean, it's Carson Beck. We know who it is, but we don't know exactly how he's going to react in a lot of those situations. Like he may get in that Auburn game and completely. It's at Auburn. He may get in that Auburn game and completely freak out. Like we don't know.
You think there's any kind of issue with Mike Bobo, coming in? You think it's just going to be smooth?
I think scheme wise, nothing's really going to change. I mean, I think Bobo put his own twist to it, but I think part of the thing for Mike Bobo to be hired, he had to stick with Todd Monken's stuff, which I mean he knew it anyway, so he probably would want to stick with it. I think it'd be smart to stick with it. So Mike Bobo is not going to be the issue. I think having a healthy running back could be an issue. We have a really fragile group of running backs. I don't think any of them have hamstrings right now. Got to find a receiver. Got to find an ex receiver because our ex receiver decided he was going to try out for Fast and Furious, so he may not be around very long. He might be.
Which one was that?
Marcus Rosemy-Jackson.
Okay.
AD Mitchell transferred, so
that's what Chris Marshall did, by the way.
Yeah, I don't even know where he transferred to. I think it was Texas, but so we got to find a receiver. Like Ladd McConkey's a great slot guy, but he's not going to win a jump ball. Dominic Lovett is going to be a great Z receiver that can play on the outside and the slot, but he's not going to be that true X receiver that you go one-on-one, you got shield a guy off on a slant or go win a jump ball. We're hoping Ra Thomas can be that guy. We're hoping Jackson Meeks can be that guy, but we just don't know. Defensively, gotta replace Keely Ringo. Corner's a little bit easier to replace, but gotta replace him, and gotta replace Christopher Smith.
Okay, I'm not going to take you seriously talking about problems that you might have on defense.
I'm saying relatively, these are our, like he said, question marks. Like, sure, yeah, we're gonna be great because we got 5 stars after 5 star after 5 star. Just
the question is, will we make an A+ or is it just an A- defense?
Right.
I mean, at our boundary corner spot is probably going to be an A-. He might get beat 1 or 2 more times than Keely Ringo would have. That's the difference. I mean, 12 wins is 12 wins is. I mean, if we lose a game, it's going to be disappointing with this roster, honestly.
With that schedule, it'd be disappointing.
With that, that's what I meant. With the schedule, the schedule just sets up really, really nicely for us. So, I mean, I had to struggle to come up with those question marks, but
your 2 worst games are back to back.
Yeah, Ole Miss and then Tennessee, and then 2 weeks later we get Georgia. Well, actually, we get.
Wait. There's another situation. Don't finish that. No.
Come on, Corey. Come on.
And then between that, we got Mercer, man. This is like Georgia State Championship. No. Oh, man, that's funny. I love it. No, we do have Kentucky at home. I love that one. Devin Leary's might be the best quarterback in the conference. I mean, in all seriousness, Georgia Tech is going to be a little bit better. They still won't be able to stop anybody on defense, but they're going to score a hell of a lot of points, at least in the ACC schedule.
Okay, they might put up 42 against y'all, but y'all still put up about 70 on them. So I mean
we'll put up 100 on them because they still don't play defense over there.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, the at Auburn game scares me a little bit, not much, but like just that atmosphere can be tricky for a new quarterback. South Carolina coming in, we get them early at home, so that game's not as scary as it would have been on the if it was in Columbia, because Columbia is like the hell's waiting room.
I did fine up there last year.
Well, yeah, of course. But
Hey, anybody want some if you want straws, there's one coach that actually figured out Kirby Smart's defense when he was at Alabama, and that was Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
there's a straw. Yeah, I'm definitely grasping at straw, Stacey, to answer this question. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with things. I just can't, I'm having a hard time here. Like I'm trying to. Yeah.
Let's do bold predictions. Let's give one prediction, each person. I mean, it has to be bold. It has to be bold prediction.
Okay, Georgia will go 12-0. Wait, no, it's not.
I will start to show that Jackson Dart will throw for over 3,000 yards with 30 touchdowns.
Damn, really? All right.
Wow. That's a huge bold prediction.
Yeah. Does that have to be about our team?
No, it doesn't have to be about your team. That's just an example of what a bold prediction is. I'm thinking of.
Okay, go ahead, Jake.
LSU just put a reliever in that wears a double XL.
Are they still winning?
Yes, they're up 5-2. And if they win, Paul Skeens is going to pitch tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Which means Wade could be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they win that, it'll be an SEC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Bold prediction: Brock Bowers is going to be a first-round pick. Wait, no.
Uh,
I can do one with Tennessee. You were talking earlier about the wide receivers. I actually think Deontay Thornton will end up being our best receiver this year.
Okay.
I bet you he ends up number 1.
interesting. Okay.
Transfer from Oregon. Guy's got size and speed. He's good.
Kirby might have a migraine one week. Yeah, he probably has a migraine every week the way he screams in the locker room. Bold prediction: I think Devin Leary will outperform every quarterback in the conference.
Good grief. You kind of on that jock today, man.
Yeah, you are.
I'm on the I'm on the hype train. I did a little bit of reading on Devin Leary. I'm on the hype train. I'm buying stock.
I would say a bold prediction for me would be Vandy actually makes a bowl game this year.
Oh, another bold prediction. A reality series comes out in February on Bravo with that features Texas A&M All Access.
Actually, I don't know if I'd watch it on Bravo. I would watch it on TLC though.
Yeah.
True.
Another bold prediction. I think by week 4 you're going to see issues at A&M between the knocking heads between.
That's not bold.
That's not bold at all, bro.
That's probably something that's going to happen.
That's like saying, "Oh, bold prediction: Lane Kiffin is going to troll somebody on social media."
Oh, he does that daily.
Exactly. It's not very bold.
I saw a video. I was just going to say real quick. I saw a video today. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I think it's like 2 years old. It's on YouTube, but I totally forgot about this interview. But Lane Kiffin was comparing Nick Saban to an ex-girlfriend. I was like, "What?" I was like, "I gotta go back and watch that."
It's must-see TV.
Yeah.
How about this, Steve? Bold prediction: Vandy's going to win 6.
Yeah, I mean,
that was on James. Yeah.
They're gonna make a bowl game. They got to win 6 to make a bowl game, Corey.
Oh yeah, that's right. I love that. Yeah, Vandy make a bowl. Did I just space out for a second?
Yeah, a little bit. You went Steve on us.
Yeah,
like, what's going on?
I spaced out for a minute.
Which one's Steve? Hang on, Jeb. Which one's Steve? I can't tell.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. By the end of the year, a top 5 defensive player will be Suntarian Perkins in the SEC.
Who's Sunterian Perkins?
True freshman, best linebacker in America.
He's the person I refer to as Suntarine.
Okay.
And the reason is I say Suntarian is because the kid told me it was pronounced Suntarian.
Oh.
Suntarian.
I
Okay.
don't think I'd ever heard his first name. I remember Perkins at LSU, but
that's
why nobody ever says it.
Yeah.
But
it is spelled Suntarine, but it is Suntarian.
Okay.
Is Tennessee going to call their shot on repeating against beating Alabama?
Oh yeah, no doubt. We got Alabama. It's Georgia what we're focusing on this year.
Bold predictions. I'm gonna take the crown and picks again. I'm gonna take it back this year.
You lost last year.
I did lose. That's why I said I'm gonna take it back.
Yeah.
Bold prediction, and this is going to piss Jake off. Alabama loses to Texas and goes 8-4.
That ain't gonna happen.
So
That would be
losing
bold,
to
though.
Texas is gonna cause a
A
spiral.
snowball effect.
Nah.
Yeah,
Ain't
they're gonna
happening.
spiral downhill. Well, you're gonna have to find a quarterback there, boss.
Don't matter. We got rid of our biggest problem. That was Bill Bryan.
Bill Bryan.
Yeah.
For the NFL. South Carolina wins 10, Chauncey. I'm
wow.
going to
Who
say
is it
they're
gonna
not
be?
because I'm going to say Spencer Rattler is going to have a meltdown.
They would have to be either one. That had to be either Tennessee or Georgia to do it. I just don't see them doing it.
Bold prediction.
Again.
The Jaden Daniels that we see from LSU is the guy that we saw at Arizona State for 3 years, and the last 4 games was the Mirage.
So they go with Nussmeier, who absolutely lit up Georgia's defense.
Oh yeah, he can play. He can play.
He can ball.
There's a reason Walker Howard's in Oxford.
Yeah, he can ball. Well, because Ole Miss is collecting quarterbacks.
My goodness, it's the best quarterback room in school history. It's not even particularly close.
Yeah, I mean you have like Walker Howard, who probably should be starting at LSU. You have Spencer Sanders, who was starting at Oklahoma State. You have wishful
Jackson
thinking there,
Dart.
Steve.
Bold predictions. Yeah, I said Jackson Dart would throw for 3,000 yards and 30 TDs too. Obviously, being incorrect is not something that I'm worried about on this.
Hey, bold prediction: Justice Haynes is in the Heisman talk about this year.
No.
No, Caleb Williams.
That is
Okay, going national with this thing, Caleb Williams is going to win back-to-back Heisman.
Yeah, I
Probably so.
I
That's
do
not
not
very
think
bold, though.
I don't think a running back can be in the discussion for the Heisman. The kid from Michigan State didn't even make it to New York, right?
Right. Kenneth
Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah, I think Quinshawn, we're going to promote Quinshawn. We should. He's the best running back in the country, but Quinshawn has no chance. Jackson Dart has a better shot than Quinshawn Judkins.
I don't think we'll ever see another defensive player win a Heisman either. It's just it's too hard now. Wasn't Charles Woodson the last one that did it?
And Dominic
Yeah,
Sue was
Chauncey,
invited.
Deuce Knight was on campus, and Ole Miss is in very good position for the 2025 quarterback, to the point where I'd almost say that Ole Miss is going to get him.
Wow.
Was
And
Charles
he
Woodson
might be
really
the
last
best.
one?
He might be the best quarterback in high school football in that class.
I like that name. Deuce.
Deuce
Yeah,
Knight.
that's a good name.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is used to Deuce.
Yeah, he goes to
Deuce
Eric
McAllister.
Mold's old high
The
school.
Deuce is loose.
If anybody remembers Eric Mold's, that's the
yeah.
high school. That's the high school that Deuce Knight goes
Remember on the
to.
Bills.
Didn't Eric Moulds play at Wisconsin?
No, Eric Mold's played at Mississippi State.
told
He was
you.
a Buffalo Bill. I know that, but I don't
Yeah, I remember the Bills.
Oh, I'm thinking of Lee Evans.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
yes.
Hey, what?
Naturally.
I'm thinking Bob Maskovitz. What?
They both played for the Bills. Give me some credit.
Yeah. Were they on there at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't
You
have
know
a
my-
quarterback. They had J.P. Losman throwing to him, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
they
God. Lots of
They-
remember that.
they might as well have Jeb thrown to him.
Jay might be a better accurate quarterback than J.P. was.
Low key, my favorite wide receiver growing up was Josh Reed at LSU. Do y'all remember Josh Reed?
I do
I
remember
remember
Josh
him
Reed.
playing at LSU.
He was pretty solid. Also a Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it.
Well, speaking of Steve, you're a Detroit
Lifelong fan.
Lifelong
Been that
fan,
way for
Detroit Tigers.
3 months. Yeah.
So with this new alternate helmet, are you going to have to jump on the Lions bandwagon? Because I know the Saints are faltering. Like, are you gonna be like MCDC? Like, makes it
Saints are
real
not-
easy, dude.
The Saints are not faltering.
You said they
Remove
were.
that from your mind. No.
they
I said I was not going to watch next year
Yeah.
if they were going to trot Jameis Winston out again. I wasn't going to do that.
They got Derek Carr.
So Derek Carr changed. all of
Derek
that.
Carr, yeah, I'm okay. I'm back on board. I'm curious. I've got NFL Sunday ticket, the whole 9 yards.
Hey man, we need you up here in Detroit, man. Like you gotta be a fan, man. You gotta jump on board, man.
But I love that blue helmet. That blue helmet is gorgeous.
I got to work on my Dan Campbell.
Yeah, but them wearing it with gray jerseys, no, Absolutely not. That blue helmet needs to be worn with white jerseys with blue pants.
Wait, what is that all about, Chauncey? I didn't say anything bad about the Saints.
Chauncey, I'm not a Titans fan.
Yeah, he's a Falcons fan, which is worse.
Yeah, it is probably worse.
It's
probably way
Falcons fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although
Titans fans talk bad about the Saints, though.
I mean, although we're probably going to trot out, Will Levis at some point this year, and I'm do not want to see that.
You know that meme where like they're like two guys are like I guess in New York and they're just like flicking each other off like creatively for 5 minutes. That's what like Falcons fans and Saints fans do when they talk crap to each other.
Right.
That's what that is. But yeah, Desmond Ridder is the future of the franchise. I don't really buy it, but Drake London's going to be great. I'm really excited about Jesse Bates and
didn't they draft
Bijan Robinson?
Yeah,
they drafted Bijan. I'm really excited about that. Now we need an offensive line to block for him, and we'll be good. Artie Smith doing a good job. Artie Smith might have had it figured out.
They need the throwback red helmets.
They do. That needs to be the primary helmet.
Uh-huh.
Michael Vick. Yeah.
They need to look like Steve Bartkowski out there.
Yeah.
That's the last time I really watched the Saints.
Michael Vick was the black helmets.
Yeah.
They were the black helmets, black jerseys, and the silver breeches. Yeah. No, the Mike Vick experience, man. That was something else, man. Algie Crumpler, Warwick Dunn, Mike Vick, throwing to Roddy White.
Man, I saw some highlights from a Florida State game with Southern Miss back when Warwick Dunn played. And he scored 2 touchdowns that he had no business scoring. And it's like, man, you forget how good Warwick Dunn was in college.
He did that stuff against Florida, not just Southern Miss. Like against Florida when Florida was loaded up in the mid-'90s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When Florida had all those, like the Freak and all those guys, dude, he was like, he would get swallowed up by like 5 people, and then all of a sudden he's down. He teleports down the sideline. Like it was unfair. He was a cheat code.
Dude, I really liked Warwick Dunn back in the day.
I'm assuming Facebook user is Wes.
I hope so. That was his brother, Marcus Vick. It's his brother. Got drafted by the Dolphins, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Fizzled out after like 2 years.
Wasn't Michael Vick's cousin actually Aaron Brooks?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that discussion a few weeks ago, I Bleav.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it before.
Yeah, and Eric Brooks sends my blood pressure up instantly.
Well, you have that smug Jim Haslett facial expression there with Aaron Brooks.
Was that the one that threw the backwards pass?
Yes. He threw it backwards 20 yards.
Yeah. Thankfully, Deuce got back there and grabbed it. Good God.
They'd get a Stanford Hail Mary play that they beat Jacksonville. They go to playoffs in the last game. They do laterals and actually score the touchdown and then miss the extra point.
That was a very Saints thing.
Wow.
And one other Saints thing I remember, it's been kind of a while, but when Reggie Bush was on the team, I remember they threw a little pass out in the flats to him, and he got absolutely rocked by an Eagles defender.
I think it was Brian Dawkins, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was,
That was the year they won the Super Bowl, I Bleav.
Yeah, I mean, he got absolutely
that was
leveled.
06. That was Reggie Bush's rookie year.
Yeah.
06? Was that the rookie year, or was that the year that they got beat by the Bears?
Yeah. Chauncey, you're right about that.
They ended up winning that game, I think, and then it was 06.
Okay. If they won the game, and then the Bears took them out.
The Bears took them out, but it was the Eagles that play. Yeah, they won that game. That was Reggie Bush's rookie year. I remember like everybody going, "God, ooh, welcome to the league, Reggie."
Well, I mean, you think about it. Those guys like Brian Dawkins, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, them guys would get penalized every play for targeting nowadays.
They get put in prison now.
Right? Yeah, and they were headhunters.
Dude, Brian Dawkins, I hated the uniform that he wore, but I loved watching him play.
Yeah,
and God rest his soul, Sean Taylor absolutely could not play today.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, he was great to watch.
Menace.
Yeah,
he was a menace back there, dude. Like you saw that amber. Like I loved it even at Miami. He had that amber visor. And my biggest memory of him was in the Florida State game his last year at Miami, It is torrent. Like, it's raining so hard. You remember the Bears 49ers game from this year?
Oh yeah,
Week 1, where it was
No,
like
from this year.
they played in it. They might as well have played in Lake Michigan.
Mhm.
It was raining so hard. That's what that game was like with Florida State and Miami back in 2003, Sean Taylor's last year. And he absolutely, I don't even know who the receiver was, but he absolutely annihilated him. He made like 2 picks, and you just saw this, you would just see this amber visor come screaming into the picture and just destroy somebody.
It's just slip and sliding.
Yeah.
And then slide like 30 yards after he made the tackle.
Yeah.
And get up and just be completely like brown from head to toe from all the mud. Like, this field was chewed up. I mean, that was a fun game to watch.
You know, real talk, has there been any team that's been screwed out of more national championships in football than the Miami Hurricanes?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, because
They
that
should've-
thing in
they should've won.
Ohio State, they should have won
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
because that was the
Phantom
best
pass
team
interference.
in my lifetime.
No, the year before that was the best team in our lifetime.
Yeah, okay.
That was the next year. Like if Georgia would have lost in the same fashion, it would have been the exact same example. Like, the team was just as loaded, but not quite as loaded as the team before it. But still should have won the national championship.
Yeah, but you know, whenever you think, the reason I bring that Miami thing up, they got screwed out of a game against Notre Dame back in the 80s as well. That if they'd have won that, they'd have played for the national championship.
That was the famous Catholics versus Convicts game.
Yeah.
It was a 2-point conversion where didn't he break the plane and it fumbled? They called it a fumble.
No, it wasn't a 2-point conversion. It was Miami driving down the field, and they threw a pass to Cleveland Gary, and he stretched his arm out, and he was down. And then when the ball hit the ground, it kind of wiggled loose. But they ruled it actually a fumble. But the only two things it actually could have been was down or incomplete. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was a fumble when it shouldn't have been. I couldn't remember what the exact situation was.
And Jimmy Johnson should be put in prison for putting wide receivers on a 3-point stance.
He had perfect hair, though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine Sean Taylor and Ed Reed were on the same team.
Yeah.
Daggum.
Just wrap your mind around that for Sean Taylor and I are the same age, or would be the same age if he was still alive. Like, if I'd have been an elite high school recruit, I would have been in the same class as Sean Taylor.
I feel like Sean Taylor and Steve McNair are both guys who was taken too soon.
I also would have been in Vince Young's recruiting class.
I went on a football visit with Peyton Manning. I got football tickets to where, you get the tickets for your high school and just go see a game. Did that. So I went up and did that. Nobody paid attention to me. There was just a huge crowd, like peanuts, just following Peyton Manning around everywhere he went.
You mean the neck about this tall? No.
Yeah.
He's not talking about Davis Mills.
I think that was Peyton has the forehead.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can project the movie on it. Yeah. You can watch Avatar at IMAX on his forehead. But yeah, I think that was the Georgia game. If I remember correctly, that was the Georgia game where Eric Zier almost just got killed.
You're gonna have to narrow it down a little bit. Georgia game where Eric Zier almost got killed. That's not every week.
Well, no, Ole Miss. They played Ole Miss. It was the Ole Miss game. It was like 93.
That's every game on Georgia's schedule. Eric Zier almost died.
Yeah. Oh my. But Ole Miss ended up winning that game. They had a pretty salty defense. They just couldn't beat Alabama at that point.
It was pretty sad that when he got to the Browns, he was relieved that he had finally had pass protection.
Yeah, I loved Eric Zier. He was like a completely different football player in that era.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the Heath Schuler times.
Yeah, Heath Schuler, Doug Johnson, Travis Barker. Isn't that who Alabama's quarterback was?
No, it's Jay Barker. That was 92.
Travis Barker is the drummer for Blink-182.
Wait, hey, who did Jay Barker?
Close enough.
Mary that they got the restraining order against him? It's like some country star, I think.
Oh yeah, Sarah Evans.
Yeah. Jay Barker married Sarah Evans. My goodness.
Suds in the bucket and clothes hanging out on the line.
Yeah, man. Sarah Evans was my girl
Suds
back
in the
day.
bucket, and I'm giving you a restraining order.
Yeah, now Jay Barker's
Stay out of
getting
my
a
way.
restraining order.
He didn't put enough suds in the bucket.
Yeah, seriously.
And then Sam Hunt played football at UAB. Played quarterback.
Who is Sam Hunt?
Country star.
Yeah. Played at UAB, yep.
Played at UAB, threw passes to Roddy White. Roddy White.
Yep.
Should be interesting. We've had a really nice night streaming, by the way.
We have.
Oh, yeah.
By the way.
By the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Decent stream tonight. Now, granted, we're on we're finally stretching out to the number of channels we're going to be on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, pretty good.
They're all here to see Steve.
Actually, a lot of Tide Talk on there.
Yeah. They're all here
A
to
lot
see
of Tide
Jake.
Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Jake from State Farm.
Hey, we all know if it's on in Birmingham and it's about football, they watch.
That's right.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty good day on my Bleav In Georgia Dawgs show that I released this morning.
Cassie got to listen to it.
Yeah.
And I discovered I'm
She's our
probably
biggest
like
fan.
she definitely is, and I definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah. So I had 165 views so far today,
Nice.
and I premiered it at 7 a.m. Central Time today.
Corey, Stacey's request is this.
What's that? Oh boy. Never mention Sam Hunt's name again, please. I'm just mentioning that he's a country star that played football somewhere in the state of Alabama. That's all. I didn't say I like Sam Hunt. I didn't say I was a fan of his music.
That
I
is
just said he
all
played
that I'm
football
willing
at
to
UAB.
mention.
Yeah, I just said he played football at UAB. That's it. That is it. I hear my echo too.
Oh.
I'm here to see Jeb and his glorious beard. Voice of God is
The voice of
keyboard
God is chimed in.
She's the
Still
keyboard of
awake.
God.
Something must be wrong.
Where does Ken Dorsey rank all-time college football quarterback list?
Right next to Danny Werfel.
He's speaking of Buffalo Bills, Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, he's a decent offensive coordinator.
Yeah. He threw a hell of a tantrum too. I love hearing the delay. I love hearing my voice and then hearing my voice again.
Sorry.
Jeez, Jeb. Jake, whatever the hell your name is.
Yeah. That one over there.
Yeah. Jeb's like, I didn't Google anything.
All right, Corey. Just so everybody knows, a little bit later on this week, I think we're going to release it on Friday. LSU just beat Wake tonight, by the way.
Oh, nice.
So Paul Skeens is going to get his opportunity to go back and get them to play Florida in the College World Series final.
Yeah, definitely not rooting for Florida in that one. Sorry, Gators.
Yeah, but we're about to get off here and start to record our 1923 rewatch of episode 1 that's going to release on Friday.
Yeah, please check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great series. I'm in episode 1 already. I'm excited to kind of see what happens next. Even though it kind of moves slowly and I lost focus occasionally, I think it's going to be really good.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where I've probably watched that show more times than anybody else in the world. I mean, I like what I like. I said what I said. And then 3 people that have not seen it.
What's up, Cass?
So it should be fun because those perspectives are interesting.
This is a great adventure for you, Steve. So
Yeah, it should be.
we're gonna get to that though. So it is 9 o'clock. We are SEC After Dark, presented by DeadSoxy and BetOnline.ag. You can find us. Well, just about everywhere now. If you look at our streaming list, you can find us on Jake's channel, Tide Talk Live. You can find us on my channel, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, or just Bleav In Dawgs if you want to follow us on social media, at SEC After Dark. You can also find Steve locked on Ole Miss. He's breaking records over there. King Troll, apparently. And you can find Jeb in case you lost the plot. Eventually he'll record one. We'll see.
Any day.
Episode 1.
I can't wait.
Episode 1's going to come out when, Jeb?
That has yet to be determined. TBD.
Okay, TBD. So
TBD.
just be on the lookout for it. Hey, what you need to do is go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell notification so when Jeb does release an episode, it notifies you and says, hey.
Wait, before we do anything, I do want to, like this.
Oh. Yeah.
Hold on. We gotta get the layout here. Hold up.
That's a silver riddle.
Oh.
That's a good one.
There,
Wait, just a second.
There it is. Is that going to be the layout though?
It'll be the full screen. It's not showing up because it auto corrects. But yeah, if you look at what it looks like, it'll kind of look like that. It should be fun.
That's going to be really, really fun.
Did he have to be wearing a Chicago jersey? It's okay. It's okay.
Well, you're.
Stacey.
Good night, Stacey.
Good night, Stacey. But yes, join us Friday for our recap of episode 1 of 1923 on Paramount Plus. So that'll be a lot of fun. But until then, we hope you have a great day. Continue to watch our channel. Continue to tell your friends. Get us as many views, as many friends on board on the After Dark channel. We are off the rails. We are off the beaten path here. If you like conventional podcast about conventional SEC talk, we're probably not the show for you. But that's our perspective. We go off the rails. We offer unique perspectives. That's where we are valued. Plus, we have other shows like the one you're going to see Friday, the one you're eventually going to see from Jeb, and then, of course, the movie reviews that we're going to do along the way. Steve just did one on The Flash. There's going to be more to come there. You're going to have Twilight Zone podcast. Derek Vandegrift is going to do an Ole Miss baseball podcast, I believe. And there's going to be, we're going to keep adding to this channel. Like After Dark might become a legit network before too long. So the next episode of Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, watch it, look at the background, and let me know if you see something that looks familiar. And I'll leave the viewers with that. So we are SEC After Dark. We'll see you back here next week. We'll hopefully see you here Friday for our review of the show 1923. But until then, you guys know the drill, man. Go Dogs.
Hotty toddy.
Vols.
Roll Tide.